me, what was the topic of our last class that we had on Thursday? Was that, let me have a look here. Was that to do with, I should just ask, what was the topic of our last class, please? Can anyone remind me what the topic of our last class was? Was it team arguments in debating? Or was it the role of the first affirmative and negative speakers? Yeah, who can remember what the topic of our last class was?
Like what if the cities have many parks?
So that was what we talked about. Was our last lesson like a big revision lesson? So I've been trying to figure this out all day, but my notes are all over the place. Okay, so we are. Have we done the teal paragraph structure? Have I taught you guys about that, the teal paragraph structure yet? Okay. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay, so that means that, so we've covered how debates are scored and we've done team arguments in debating. Okay, terrific. So then, let's start with a bit of revision. So let's go over all of the different, the responsibilities for the different roles in a debate. And then pretty much as soon as we've done this, we can start preparing to actually have a debate. Okay. Terrific. Okay, so I've learned to use the text function, which is good, so you won't have to read my messy scribble anymore. So I'm just going to write the different members of the debating teams. And then we're going to go through and discuss what each of the members of the team do. Okay. Okay, so can somebody please tell me? Terrific. So can somebody please tell me what is one of the responsibilities of the first proposition speaker?
3 arguments.
Very good. So one of their jobs is to deliver arguments in favor of the motion. So that's their first job. Good. What else does the first proposition speaker have to do? So they need to deliver arguments for their teams. And what else do they have to do? They have to, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, first of all, they have to side with the motion, or they have to deliver the motion. And what else do they have to do? They have to deliver, they have to give their own arguments as to why, well, yeah, they have to deliver their own arguments on the topic. They have to tell everyone what their motion is. And what else does the first proposition speaker have to do? Tony, any ideas?
I'm trying to remember.
No worries.
How
Second
proposition.
Pardon?
Second proposition.
We're not quite there yet, but I'll come back and ask you for something that they do when we get there. Okay, so the other first proposition job is to deliver the team line. So they basically have to tell the audience and the judges all of the arguments that they can expect to hear in favor of the motion, so that they lay out their team's position on the issue very clearly. Okay, first opposition. They step up to speak next. What are their responsibilities, or what are their jobs in a debate? Hello, welcome, Annie.
Yeah.
So what are the jobs of the first opposition speaker?
Rebuttal about the argument made by the first proposition.
Say that
Speaker.
again, Tony.
Rebuttal the argument of the first speaker of the proposition team.
Very good. Rebuttal against arguments from first proposition speaker. Very good.
2 arguments.
Very good. Very good, Tim. They have to present their own arguments. Very good. And what else do they have to do? There's one other job that they've got to do. What do we think that job is?
Deliver the team line.
Very good. They also have to lay out their team's cases. They have to lay out their team's case and let us know what their argument will be. Very good. Fantastic. Okay, now we move into the second proposition speaker. What do they have to do? Tim, I think you had some ideas about this before. What does the second proposition speaker have to do?
Two arguments.
Very good. So second proposition speaker, they have to deliver more arguments and evidence. Very good. What else does the second proposition speaker have to do? They've got one more job that they need to do.
Rebuttal the argument of the first opposition speaker.
Very good, Tony. Very good. The second proposition has to offer rebuttals against the first opposition arguments. Very good. Very good. So now we move on to our second opposition speaker. What do they have to do?
Make a strong conclusion.
No, that's the third opposition speaker. What does the second opposition speaker have to do?
Raise the rebuttal.
Second proposition arguments.
Rebuttal.
Very good. Very good, Lisa and Tim. So they have to, again, deliver more arguments. To support their team's case. And they also have to offer rebuttal against the second proposition's arguments. Very good. And now finally, we come to our third proposition speaker. What does the third proposition speaker have to do?
Summarize team argument.
Very good.
Make a strong conclusion.
Very good, guys. Summarize their team's argument and make a strong closing statements. Terrific. And now finally, third opposition. What do they have to do?
Make a strong conclusion.
Very good. So they have to make strong closing statements. And what's their last job they've got to do?
Summarize the argument.
Very good. Very good. Summarize their team's arguments. Excuse me. Okay, so this is usually how they hand out tasks to a debating team. Usually after the second opposition speaker has spoken, they will have a Q&A session where judges, the audience members from the other debate team can ask questions about their arguments to see how well they've researched, try and pick more weak spots in their arguments, and yeah, just really try to find any advantage that they can. So, good job, guys. So these are the responsibilities of and the roles of the members of a debate team. So today, I would actually like to start preparing us to have a debate probably in the next couple of weeks or so. So I'm just going to quickly take down a list of everyone in the class. I'll assign some teams. And then I'll give you guys your topic. And this will kind of become...
Teacher,
This will be... Yes, Tim?
is in the couples of lessons so we have to prepare.
So this will be more your homework. Yeah, so this will be more your homework to prepare outside of class. However, we'll start to devote class time to training for the debates. So I'll be able to show you guys a few good techniques to do with posture, body language, and voice control. So how to actually present. Okay. Is there anyone missing from class currently that should be here but is not today? Okay, so my two team captains are going to be... Who are they going to be? I'll get Lisa and I will get Tim to be our team captains. And Lisa's team is going to be the proposition and Tim's team is going to be the opposition. And because we have an odd number of students in the class, we're going to have to do 2 teams of 4. I'll explain how that works in a minute. And I'm going to pick somebody to be my helper to judge and to mediate the debate. So
The scoring.
that's it. So one of you is going to get a chance to be a debate judge, and you're also going to help me to be the interlocutor as well. So you will have a very interesting time learning about this and how it all works. Okay, so Okay, so it is decided. I'll put the teams in the chat box. So make sure you write all of this down. Okay, so you'll know who your teammates are. Okay, so we have our two teams. Yes, Elsa. Okay, so we have our two teams. Now, the order of the speakers is not set. That's just the order that I wrote them down in. So the two teams, it will be up to you guys to, if your microphone has a problem, are you talking about all the time or just today? But if you're having problems, just communicate with me in the chat. Okay, so
Teacher, Hannah
yes,
is a scoring.
that's it. Hannah's going to help me judge the debate, but as well, I'm also going to get Hannah to prepare a few arguments and to write down a speech, and she'll also get a chance to present some arguments as well. So everybody gets a chance to practice presenting arguments. Okay, so like I said, the team orders are not fixed. So you'll talk with your teammates about who you think will fit each role on the team the best. And the way we're going to work these debates, because we've got 4 members of the team, we're just going to have 2 people act like the second speaker. So it'll be, so the first speaker will have the responsibilities of the first speaker. The second speaker will have the responsibilities of a second speaker. The third speaker, I'm typing all of this into the chat box as well, will be like a second speaker. So more arguments, more evidence. And the fourth speaker will have the role of the third speaker.
So the second and the third speaker do the same job.
So the second and the third speaker will do the same job. The second and the third speakers will each do the job of the second speaker of a team. So they will focus primarily on rebutting any arguments. They will focus on delivering more arguments for their team and more evidence for their team as well. Okay, so we've got our teams, we've got our roles. Now, the only thing left is to give you your topic. So let me check my list of super cool debate topics. And I will assign you one. Okay, I think I've got a good one here. Your topic will be, should students get a longer holiday break from school? So that's going to be our topic for this evening. Oh, not for this evening, for this debate that we're going to have. So if you are on the proposition team, you will be arguing students should get a longer break. If you are on the opposition team, you are arguing students should not get a longer break. So does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
Terrific. Okay, so very good, Zon. Oh,
Copy and paste.
Zon, you just got here.
Yeah, I have got.
You forgot. Okay, so if that's the case, we now have even teams. So Hannah and Zon, I will assign you to the teams.
Yes.
So again,
No more helpers.
nope. So I'm going to be doing all the judging and all of the mediating myself. So Hannah and Zon are in the debate now.
It is yummy.
Okay, so let me update those messages in the chat. So we've got all of the information necessary.
I'll kill you.
Okay, so there's now no helper, mediator, judge person. That's just going to be me.
Ooh.
Okay, there we go. That's all updated now. So, goodness gracious. So each team, because you've now got 5 people, we've managed to even the teams out to 5 and 5. So now our new roles are going to look like this. First speaker is still the first speaker on the team. They will introduce their team line. They will do all of those jobs, lay out their own arguments and introduce the motion. The second, third and fourth speakers of each team will also, they will all do the role of the second speaker. So all they will focus on is delivering arguments and evidence and rebutting any counter arguments made by the other team. And the fifth speaker on each team will act as the third speaker, who delivers the conclusion and the summary. Terrific. Okay, so what I'd like to start doing with you guys is I'd like to take you all through some good presentation practices. So this is going to be focusing on your presentation skills of debate. So the first thing I'd like to focus on is posture. And posture is quite simply how you stand up. So because when you are delivering this debate, I'm going to have everybody do it properly. You'll be invited to speak, you'll stand up, hold your cards and deliver your speeches. I'll be judging on your posture, your voice, and your facial expressions and your hand gestures. So I thought I should teach you some of that stuff first. Miss Hannah, do you have a question? I see your hand up. Or are you just scratching your head? Just scratching your head, no worries. Okay, so the first thing that I want to go through with you guys is good posture. And so the difference between good posture and bad posture, I'll show you. If I'm standing here delivering a speech and I've got my good posture happening, you'll see me standing up nice and straight, looking confident, straight ahead at the people I'm addressing, looking down to check my notes if need be. I'm going to be quite active in the hands, going to be looking around at my audience, and yeah, just generally looking confident and positive and ready to give a good speech. But if I've say got my legs locked out and kind of slumping here, you can see the difference there. Got a little hunch in my back and just kind of staring at my cards and reading my speech and not really paying attention to what's going on out here. That's very bad posture. That makes you look like you're not confident in what you're saying, makes you look like you're not confident in what you're doing. So the first thing, don't know why I just sat down because I've got to stand up again now. But the first thing that I want to check with you guys or talk to you guys about is your knees. So how to stand up nice and confidently. And yes, I will be judging all of this during the debate, how you stand, how you present, your quality of voice, everything. So I'm just going to put my tablet on the floor here. Hopefully you can see my feet. Okay, so first thing about posture is we want to make sure that our knees are slightly bent. So if we see here right now, my legs are very straight and my knees are right back over the heel of the foot. So if I've got my legs locked out like this, it's going to be very, very uncomfortable to stand there and speak. My bum's going to be sticking out. I'm going to look like a chicken, quack, quack, quack. So what I want to do is I want to just bend my knees slightly. Nothing like this. This is too much because now we're not standing up. We just look like we're falling down. So knees just over the front of the feet. If I can pick my heels up off the floor, then that's a good position for my knees to be in. So I can be relaxed. I can change positions if I need to, nice and comfortably. And yeah,
Teacher.
yes, hello.
everyone have to be in the class in the debate.
Correct. Correct. Everyone in the class will have to be in the debate. So now, so at the moment, we're just focusing on presentation tips, how to look confident, how to talk confident. So let me just go over that one more time. My knees don't want to be straight and locked out. I just want my knees to be nice and soft so that they hang over the front of the foot. So my knees are currently around the toes of my feet, and I can pick my heels up. So the next thing is your tummy. So I've got a bit of a big belly here. So when I'm not using my good posture, my belly sticks out and my upper body just kind of tends to just sit on my stomach like that, and I get a bit of a hunchback. No, 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 no. So what I want to do is I want to imagine like I'm trying to suck my belly all the way back until it touches my back. So I'm just going to suck my belly in nice and in, try and make this as flat as possible. And that's step 2. So let's go over that so far. What are the first 2 points of good posture? We're going to end up with 5 points altogether. But what are our first 2? Just talked about them. Someone give me one of them, please. What are our first 2 points of good posture? Oh, hiccups. Anyone? Tim, what's the first point of good posture?
I can't remember.
Lily.
I think the first point of the posture is we have to write the main idea, not just not the word that we just want to say. We just write the main idea in the poster so that we can remember what we have to say.
So posture, we're talking about how to stand up nice and tall and look confident. So what was the first thing that I showed you guys about how to stand up nice and tall? Bend your knees. So that's the first thing. Bend your knees a little bit until you can pick your heels off the floor. And number 2 was suck your tummy in as far as you can.
If you fat, you need to suck. If you are not fat, you don't need to suck.
This is true. If you don't have a big belly like I do, then you might not have to pull your stomach in as much, but we still do want to do the same thing, because that will mean the right muscles in our stomachs are working to keep our bodies nice and straight, nice and tall.
Teacher, do we have to make our knees comfortable and soft?
Yes, comfortable and soft. That is a very good way to describe them. That's a very good way to describe your knees. Comfortable and soft. So number 1 was bend your knees slightly. You should be able to lift your heels off the floor easily. I like that one. Knees are to be held comfortably and soft. Okay, very good, guys. Number 2 was try and suck your stomach in and try and pull it all the way back to your spine or all the way to your back. Okay, very good. So number 3, sometimes when we're just sitting there and relaxing, our chests will what we call slump. So they will just collapse like that. And so when we do that, this part of our chest here will usually point straight forward. So I turn side on. So if I am just slumping here, again, you can see it in my back. My head's just hanging over. I'm not holding it up. You see my chest here is pointing straight forward. What I want to do is lift my chest up until that finger pointing straight forward points diagonally to the ceiling. And you can already see it as well in my back. My back's looking a lot straighter. My chest is pointing diagonally up towards the roof rather than here and pointing forward. So lift our chest up and we will, it's amazing actually. I remember when I was teaching some students to dance, it's happened quite a few times. This was one of the techniques that I would teach them for their posture. And the amount of times that I saw both the ladies and the men in the couples that were dancing, they would just grow literally about, some of them as much as about 2 to 3 inches. So we're talking like 7 or 8 centimeters. They just grow taller because they lifted their chest and they were holding their posture nice and their backs nice and straight. So this can literally add this can actually add a bit of height if you normally relax like that. You know when you're out shopping actually, and you sometimes see elderly people and they're like super duper hunched over like that, and they've got to like use their walkers to get around. That is actually the main reason for that is years and years and years of not using this posture has actually set their muscles so that their spines will actually curve over like that. So if you practice this, you will also actually, as you grow up and get older and older and older, if you keep your good posture, you won't end up like one of the old people you see in the shops when they're like hunched over like that trying to walk around. So do this. This is very good. Now, when we pick our chests up, one of the first things that most people try and do is they think that everything needs to come up. So they'll do this with their shoulders. They'll go. See how I've lifted my shoulders up? Don't do this because where's your neck? Where's your neck? So just let your shoulders hang down and pick up your chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, what's the weather in your country like?
Well,
It's winter.
I'll show you. It is winter. It's very, very cold. It's very, very cold at the moment, but it's also nighttime as well. So you can't really see anything in the backyard at the moment. Oh,
It's afternoon
okay.
in Vietnam.
Yeah, it would be 3:45 in Vietnam, right? About 3:45, 3:46.
Yes.
Yes, knew it. So let's go over and and finally, point number 5 is our chin. So if you try and see past the bushy beard that I've got, let me see if I can try and pull it out of the way. You see how if I look straight forward, the angle of my chin goes down towards the floor? The proper way to hold your head is actually this underside of your chin wants to be flat to the floor. So pick the head up a little bit to here. So you've got a nice flat line under your chin. So when you look straight forward, you should actually be looking slightly upwards. Not like this, that's too far, but oh, that hurt. So, but just so that the bottom of your chin is flat with the floor. And when you combine all 5 of those aspects, I'll show them to you together. So number 1 was my knees. So I'm going to bend my knees so that I can pick my heels up. Once I can do this, my knees are in a good position. Number 2, I'm going to suck my belly in, try and pull it all the way back towards my spine. Number 3, I'm going to pick my chest up, make it go from looking straight ahead to diagonally up. Make sure my shoulders stay relaxed. And number 5 is keep the bottom of my chin running flat with the floor. And here, there's my good posture. So if I am giving a debating argument, I would be able to, I can freely move in this position. I can take steps, I can look, I can change my focus within the audience. So just having this posture, 1, you look tall, you look confident, and you look like you know what you're talking about. Number 2 is, you'll be able to hold it for quite a long time. You won't get tired like this, you won't get sore. But if you say lock your knees out, then that's when you can start to get your legs will start hurting and all that sort of stuff. So practice these technique tips, practice these posture tips. And I want to see all of your beautiful postures on the day of the debate. Standing up nice and tall, looking confident. So number 3 was lift your chest. Your chest or your rib cage. Okay, so point number 3 for your posture, lift your chest or your rib cage. Lift it until your chest stops looking straight ahead and it's looking diagonally up. Number 4 was...
Teacher, is a look up a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So it shouldn't be like looking right up at the ceiling like that, because that's just too much. But you just want it so that if you have your arm going straight out in front of you, like this, if you point straight in front of you, like that, as you lift your chest, your arm should start to go up slightly. Now you'll know when you've hit your you'll know when you've hit the sweet point with your raising your chest, because if you go too far, you'll really start to feel it right in your shoulders. It'll start to feel quite cramped. So if you feel that you've gone way too far, this should feel nice and comfortable. This shouldn't feel painful or anything bad. This should just feel nice and comfortable. Point number 4 was do not lift your shoulders up. Make sure they stay relaxed. Okay. And number 5 is make sure the bottom line of your chin is flat with the floor. Okay, so if you follow these 5 points for posture, when you go to deliver your debating argument, you guys will look like superstars. So does everybody understand those 5 points for good posture? So I really want to stress this, like I will be looking for your presentation style when we debate. So if you don't understand anything I've talked about, please make sure you make it known, and I'll happily fill in any blanks. Okay, so going into our next lesson, I'll start to teach you about how to speak during a debate, using your voice. We'll go over using your hands, your facial expressions, all sorts of things, and it'll be great. I'll turn you guys into very seasoned public speakers.
Teachers, do we have homework?
Your homework, I'll put it in the Zalo group, and I actually will do that this evening, because I know I forgot on Thursday. My apologies for that. But realistically, most of your homework in the coming lessons is just going to be focusing on getting ready for this debate. So making sure you're talking with your team members, making sure you're working out the arguments that you want to present, working out who will be presenting which arguments. And I will be able to tell who's been working with their team members and who's just kind of been doing things by themselves, because it will show how you interact with members of your own team. Okay. Yes.
Do apologies and apologize different or the same?
Pardon?
Do apologies and apologize different or the same?
Good question. So apologies and apologize, they are different parts of the same word. So if I give you an apology, or if I give you my apologies, then I am saying sorry to you. So that's one way of saying it. An apology is where you say sorry, but apologize is me actually saying sorry. So I'm apologizing to you. I'm saying sorry. But yeah, apology is like the actual act of apologizing. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Cool. So the class finishes very shortly. But yeah, so I'm going to post the tips from the posture. I'm going to post the posture tips. I actually want you guys to put effort into practicing this, because I really cannot tell you, like I honestly think by this point in my life, if I hadn't learned good posture, I'd be hunched over in my chair like that, trying to look up at the camera talking to you guys. So really practice this posture stuff. It'll help you out way more than just your debating. I'll send through all of the debate information tonight, and I want you guys to start preparing your arguments. And again, I want you guys to be working as part of a team. So I want you guys to work with your teammates, develop good, strong arguments, find lots of really good evidence to back your arguments up. And I also I want you guys to try and think of arguments for the other team in the debate, because if you pre-plan some of those, I agrees on I agrees on, I agree. So, yeah, so if you can, if you can prepare your counter arguments in advance, then you'll make the lives of any team members that have to rebut, you'll make their lives a lot easier. Okay, guys, I'll post all your homework and the relevant information in the Zalo group. And other than that, Zon, stop trying to blind me with the laser from the mouse. All right, guys, great job tonight. I'll see you on Thursday.
Bye, teacher.
Goodbye, teacher.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye, teacher.
Goodbye, everybody.